You are watching the Blueprint Radio Show with DJ Miss Hennessy.
Explore.
東京へようこそ。時を時を
Negro, no Paris though. Nah, you won't find me there. I'm stacking up my carrots though. Turn dollars into yen. I'm slicker than your average Joe. This time I'm coming up with my friends. Now that we're established, we signed, sealed the deal. We're so fabulous. Let's roll. Oh, Tokyo.
時を
Let me see your soul. Tokyo.
時を
Ready, set, let's go. Let's go. We rumble in the jungle. Chaos, stay organized. Something about the way you handle. There's a million ways you can pass the time now. Shibuya scramble. Yeah. You got me staying up all night. Ooh, you're just my type tonight. I feel alive. Yeah. Tokyo.
時を
Everybody knows. Oh, everybody knows the way. Tokyo.
時を
It's you and me for sure.
Alright, I think we got a jam.
Tokyo.
時を
Tokyo.
時を Ready, Tokyo, come on.
T-O-K-Y-O.
時を
We here tonight. Yeah, yeah. T-O-K-Y-O. Tokyo. Hope you feeling alright tonight. Quit playing, boy. Bring the beat back. Where we at? Tokyo.
時を
Let me see your soul, Tokyo. Tokyo.
時を
Ready, set, let's go. Yeah. Tokyo.
時を
Everybody, if you don't know, now you know. Mr. Young Boy. Tokyo.
時を
It's you and me for sure. Harajuku girls, downtown
時
Tokyo.
を
Downtown Tokyo. My Shibuya girls, downtown
時
Tokyo.
を
Downtown Tokyo.
時を
Good evening, everyone. This is DJ Miss Hennessy right here with another exclusive Blueprint Hip Hop Soul interview. I am so excited to always share time and space with this incredible human. He is not just one of the best soul R&B artists in this country. He is taking over the world with his incredible music, his passion, his spirit, his energy. My champion is more than just an artist. He's family, and he is so loved by so many people. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Greetings, Miss Hennessy. Thank you for having me, man. It's
Anytime.
love. It's always love when I see your face, and we get to chop it up. So yeah, it's always love. It's good
It
to
is
see
always love, and it hasn't changed for the last. I think we've known each other for nearly over 20 years.
Yeah,
And
man.
I've been doing this for a long time, and I remember first meeting you. I think you were like 12. No, I'm joking. And, and you're what? You're 17 now, so no.
I'm 17 now.
Black don't crack, baby. What can I say?
Yeah.
And beige don't age. But in saying all of that, you look good. You look healthy. Everything is is looking positive. But how are you really doing? Obviously, with us both being in Sydney and dealing with this lockdown and everything, how have you been going?
Yeah, I've been good, man. I'm blessed, and I just look at every day like a blessing to have the family and you know, just still be creative, and I guess I've really just taken this time as a time to be inspired by a new way and
Yeah,
and and just use that for creation, So I'm doing good, man. Like
yeah,
honestly, the family is good. We're we're yeah, man, we're just happy to be alive, to be
yeah.
honest, you know.
I love it because you know what? Every time you post something on any of your social media pages, or even with your family, or even as an individual, the spirit just comes through, that positive spirit with all of you, your beautiful family. It just resonates through, and it just is a real testament to the essence of who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've always been like that, Mike. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, with no COVID, for as long as I've known you, you've always had that incredible sort of, testimony to what it is that you do. How would you best describe yourself as this evolving artist? And you evolve amazingly. How would you best describe yourself?
Definitely, I always think of myself when it comes to music in general. I always think of myself as a fan first, and just like I'm that music fan first. So
Yeah,
even though I'm an artist and I do my thing with the music, I always just want to be the student.
right.
So I always just try to approach everything that I'm doing from that point of view of being the student and really what can I learn
Mm-hmm.
from this, and yeah, I think the whole time that we're going through in the world, with pandemic and stuff, I've just tried to approach it in that same way as
Mm-hmm.
what can I learn from this time,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's really my approach. It's just always been that way. I guess that's what I am.
yeah,
I prefer more to be the student and continue to learn, continue to take in, and then use my God-given talent just to deliver
yeah,
what I've seen, what I've heard.
yeah, yeah.
Deliver it in my own way. So yeah,
You've
it's
you've been doing good so far with the delivering, and you're you're humble to a fault. But you know what? I think humility keeps us really honest. And I notice the creatives and the artists that I've been blessed to speak to and speak with over the years that I've been doing this. The
yeah,
greater the artist, the more humble their soul is, and I'm always touched by that. And I don't say like the greater as into blow smoke it up, anybody, but the people who work the hardest, who create um, some really timeless works, are so humble when you talk to them about those works. And you've always been like that. Now, you've been doing this for a long time. And I always say to you with every project, stay elevating, and you always take it to the next level. Creatively, what inspires you right now? What inspires you to keep taking it to that next level?
it's definitely like a feeling from within that is inspiring me. To be honest, like I think I really just learned to go with feeling.
Yeah,
And so like even with my sound now, stuff that I've been working on through this whole time is really just I feel like it's the sound that resonated with me and grew my love for music, and grew my love, just so I think that that gut feeling,
hmm,
that feeling within, that innate kind of feeling that's within you. I really think that's at the moment is what is inspiring me the most.
yeah,
And because when you look into the world, I mean, there's a lot to be inspired by, but if you're watching what's going on, there's a lot
yeah,
to be, that could invoke fear and all those kinds of
yeah,
emotions as well. So I think I've just learned to when I feel those emotions coming from the external, kind of just go within and listen to what's going on inside and allow that to kind of create for me.
Yeah.
So when I say, I mean, in calling me humble, with my music, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate to be seen that way. It's really, that really comes from me. Like, I really look at myself as a vessel for something bigger,
Yeah.
So I try to just go beyond myself, and it's hard sometimes to take a compliment, because it's like it's not me, it's like you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I
Someone gives you
know.
that compliment, you're just like, it's I don't know, I don't look at it like this is me. It's just I'm just doing the work,
Yeah.
the work
I
that was
agree.
intended. I'm doing the work that was intended for me from something greater
Yeah.
than myself. So
Yeah. And I
and
think
and yeah,
I think, Mike, that's probably where your or where the how can I put it? I obviously, with the people that follow you and that have been fans for many years, from your first, music projects to your current, you gain so many more followers because I think there's something so relatable with what you portray. But then there's also, and I always say this to you, that star quality that there's only one Mike Champion.
yeah.
Um, and to any other Mike Champions watching, well, I'm sorry, but there really is only. So anyway, getting light. But in saying that, it's. I think again, like you said, you're the vessel, and absolutely, I totally agree with that analogy because that's how I feel about what I do. And
Definitely.
again, when people give you a compliment, it's like you cringe, but I've had to learn to sit there and just say thank you because
Yeah.
and to let that feeling wash over because I
Yeah.
think when you deflect too much, you're actually deflecting that shine off of you, and you deserve the shine every now and again.
No, I
We
feel
don't
you.
do it for shine, but you deserve it every now and again.
Yeah,
So
most definitely.
you know what
Most
I
definitely.
mean?
No,
Um,
no, 100%. I totally agree. It's just, I think that's another thing I'm shooting of is learning how to take that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you can be a humble person, but like being humble, you can sometimes, downgrade yourself for people. You know,
terrible.
and yeah, and learning how to take a compliment is a skill in itself. Just so yeah, just something that I work on.
I know, I know. Well, listen, here's a big compliment coming your way. Your current album, and I know that you're working on a lot of music all the time, and we're probably going to talk about future projects a little later on in the conversation. But your current work that is out, and that you did your first major concert sort of performance.
Yeah.
Was it earlier this year? I think it was this year, wasn't it? Was it late last
Yeah,
year?
it was the beginning of this year.
It feels like I don't even know
I don't
what
know, the
day.
years are just rolling into each other.
What are we in? Was it 2030? Where are we now? It was earlier this year, and it
Earlier
was
this year, yeah.
at the Max Watts. Was it Max Watts Theatre? I think in
Yeah.
yeah, at Moore Park. That I think stepping into that concert venue, and it was packed out, and it was fans, it was family, it was new Mike Champion followers, it was old friends. Seeing you on that stage and in that capacity, I turned to Jay, and I think we were looking at each other like he's arrived. Like that was seeing you on that elevated level, going this is it. Like there's no, and it's just this weird feeling like when you see a friend or you see someone whose career you've watched from
Yeah.
from ground up to that point. Man, it was a proud moment. It was.
Thank
I
you.
was screaming like I was in some at Wembley Stadium or like it was. I lost my voice. There was tears.
Uh,
You know what I mean? But it's just so wonderful to see you in that capacity. How did that feel? Because I never really asked you
yeah.
innately how that would have felt being on that stage and feeling that love. How was that for you at that concert, at your concert?
It was honestly amazing just to be in the room. I mean, having like promoted my own show and being an independent artist, to step out on the stage and see an audience like that, you really never expect it. You know, it's really, you step out and you're like, oh, damn, like this many people showed up for me or for my show, you know. It was a really, it's just, I was very grateful in that moment, you know, to have that many people come to my show, especially through a pandemic. You know, through a time where people were uncertain, like, should I go, shouldn't I go? But we still managed to sell it out. So I was honestly so grateful to everybody that came out to the show and supported. And they, like, people that I knew from day one, you know what I mean? Until like, and then mixed with people that I kind of didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it was just refreshing to see, you know, everyone's faces and be out on that stage, you know. But for me, it's like I take the moment and I watch it back and I'm grateful, and I always know there's more.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you know, I'm ready to go again and ready to go bigger and just keep on pushing the mold. And you know, I don't want to talk about age and getting older and the longevity of my career. Like, I just want to focus on having longevity in my career and really just continuing to transcend through the ages and evolve and
I think
you know, keep it moving.
you've got the blueprint down for that already, because you've been doing it from day one. You've never let anything stand in your way, and you've had to overcome a lot. There have been a lot of sort of you know, barriers that have been placed not because of anything other than just sheer ignorance and non-acceptance of the magnitude of what an independent artist can do in this country, and you've broken those barriers. And it's a proud thing for me to say that, because I've seen you go through a lot of those struggles and silently battle them with you at times, you know, being the person that
Definitely.
reports on it or promotes it. So I think, you know, when you reflect back on that concert, I think that was the apex of the next level for you. You're looking out in that audience and people are singing the words to your songs. Like, to me as an artist, I would be like, oh my God, like chanting the chorus. Like, I know I have my favorites, but I was like, I didn't know I knew verbatim. Like, what the heck? Like, screaming it. Like, it was crazy. But as we were saying before, it's hard to take a compliment, but that would have been the biggest compliment for you from everyone in that room, you know?
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Just to be on the stage, especially to be on the stage and share it with so many great artists, local artists as well. And to be able to, I think, to be able to create that platform is like it's really what's more important to me, is like being able to create a platform for, you know, artists of color and independent artists to just be on a stage like that, you know, and have an opportunity to be seen. You know, that's really it's that, I think that's a very important to me, to just be able to share these moments, you know, like share the moments with the amount of talent that we have here. You know, so I think that was something that was very special to me, and just having those moments with the artists backstage, and you know, like having a conversation with them and saying a prayer with them together, and just really being grateful for the moment that we have, the moments that we have to share together as artists in this industry, rather than bring each other down. Like, let's push each other up, and you know, I think that's something that was very important for me during that.
But that
time
also
that
that also transcended to the audience as well. I think so many people were just in awe of the local talent that you had brought to share the stage with you. but also that there's the magnitude of talent that we have in this city, let alone this country, of
Definitely.
incredible, R&B hip hop artists that are doing it for the culture. And
Mm-hmm.
it takes an artist like yourself who's always done it for the culture
Mm-hmm.
to be the how can we say, not the gatekeeper, but you've trailblazed for so many artists in this country, independent artists, and you've done it without even knowing you've done it. But I think that evening, showcasing that the incredible breadth of talent that you had was just, I think that those are necessary realness moments that we need in this community to show the world, like, this is how we do it here. Like, this is what it's
Yeah,
about.
definitely.
Sticking together and
Most
rising
definitely.
together, right?
And it's really, I think it's important to show like new artists that that's the way to go, man. Is like support each other.
Yeah,
Don't. It's not a competition.
yeah,
It's really not a competition. We're all unique. We all have our own way of receiving information, and we have our own way of delivering information. So there's room for all of us. God put
hmm,
us all here together because there's room for all of us to shine and do our thing. So I think just having that mentality, yeah, it helps me, man. It helps me to create. It helps me to make new networks with people, and it's something that I definitely try to influence in our industry. Is just, man, support each other. Like,
seriously.
it's not a competition.
And I think that's the most important thing, Mike, because so many of us have always felt like there's more to this community than just, like, they're the same people, right? And when I say the same people, I mean familiar names, familiar faces, the people that are constantly maybe in the media or on radio, this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
We won't even talk about, things like the arias and stuff like that, because we've already had
Yeah,
those conversations where it's always,
yeah,
there's always been this glass ceiling, with
yeah,
the commercial side of, the Australian music industry really accepting and embracing, the
yeah,
true cultural impact of what it is that we do, what you do, our music, that type of stuff. Um,
yeah.
but you haven't needed that. You've taken the independent route and you've worn it like a badge of honor. Like, seriously, brother, and you've done it with such grace. And I always say
Thank
this to you: it's you've never really complained, or you're not somebody who kind of whinges and moans publicly. I'm sure at home with,
you.
with your family, different. That's when we come alive. But
We gotta complain a little bit.
just a little bit, just a touch, and that's okay because that's real. That I would
Yeah,
be,
but
listen,
that's just so like that's just to get me back in check. Get me back
yeah,
in focus.
keeps you honest. You got to whinge. You got to get it out with your family. But
Definitely,
I'm saying,
definitely.
like, you've always just kind of persevered and kept going. So when you look at where you are now, as opposed to when you started, what would you have, is there anything you would have done differently 20 odd years ago when you first started to where you are now? Or is that just a null and
Uh,
void question for an independent artist?
I'm not. You know what? Like, I really feel like I might have said yes to that question maybe 5 years ago. I might have said yes to that
Mm.
question. There's things I would have done differently, but right now, like I'm feeling like I'm in my prime. So
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like I'm
I feel
I'm
it.
I'm like actually nah, because if I hadn't gone through things, I wouldn't have got me to a feeling of like, okay, I kind of know where to go next.
Yeah.
Because right now, I feel like, yeah, I know where to go next. Like the road, it seems clear to me, and yeah, I really wouldn't have done anything
No. And
differently.
I don't think you would have. I like to ask that question to see artistically where your head is at,
Yeah,
because I think a lot of the time, and especially for artists that have done this for a long time, you've done it for a long time. You've created the path. You've paved the way. Yes, there have been influences. Yes, you've had,
yeah,
muses, and obviously mentors along the way. But like I said, you really been the person who has created that niche for yourself here.
yeah,
And if there's anybody that you're in competition with, it's yourself. And I think that's the best person to be in competition with is oneself. Because
Most definitely.
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely. It's really like a test of self, and I mean, being in the arts, anything that we deliver through the arts is kind of like us delivering a piece of ourselves. It's a way of communicating. So I know with my music, like in my songwriting, it's really just a way of me expressing something that I don't know how to say in just in conversation in words. So I'd rather just write it because I feel like I'm the most articulate like when I'm songwriting. So I can really sit down and really express myself, the way I want to through my songs. So I just I think it's really using our outlets, the right kind of way. That's what it's about for me.
Absolutely. On a global front, you've really created an incredible fan base for yourself internationally, being an independent artist. So I know when obviously we've chatted before, or you've put posts up on your social media with playlists in London, or European radio shows, playing your music and shouting you out as being this incredible, R&B artist down here, and then obviously Japan and your love affair with, Japan and the incredible embracing that's happened there. How do you feel about your global community, comparing it to Australia? Is it a comparison or is it just an addition to your Australian community?
I think it's really something that I haven't fully explored.
Wow.
If I gotta be honest, like I always I picture myself, because I was, before this whole pandemic started, I was going to Europe and I was gonna do my first tour in Europe, and I would have been there for like a month and a half just doing shows. And my gut feeling was just telling me like, I think people are gonna show up for your shows, I think you might you might be surprised when you get there, because you might have more people that listen to your music than you think.
Wow. Were you doubting that it would?
Well, it's just, I mean, it's taken the first time to go overseas as an independent artist. You always have that kind of like, I don't know what I'm going for, but something was pushing me that way. And so I think like that international market that I've managed to tap into, I think that's what's exciting me is looking at the statistics, seeing the music that's being shared overseas. It's exciting me for that next step. And that's why when I feel like I'm in my prime, it's like I'm excited for the moments of being able to go overseas and do shows and perform in front of those new audiences, that actually might have been following me from day one and I don't even know it, but the possibility is there. Like I'm open to the possibility of that. So it's just keeping my mind, I think, open to what the possibility is, and really just acting on it, when I can. And I think that the outlook of what that could be, going back to Japan, doing some more shows in Japan, especially because I got the new project coming and I've already reached out to them and they're excited to do it. So still, even through all of this, not having released music, but still having the contacts there and reaching out to them and them still being excited to work on the project with me, that's another, form of possibility for me. So it kind of excites me. It gets me excited to go and do the thing.
That's
again,
so dope. I'm so excited for you. Like, I just know that's the next level for you. Like it always was going to be. I mean, you've always really gotten, and this is just, it's the crazy thing with Australia. I know we've spoken about this ad nauseum, about the whole tall poppy syndrome issue that we have here with people not really supporting the local artists. I think we've overcome it now that we've gotten a little bit more established within this community, but in the beginning, man, it was like, seriously, what do you guys want? I remember having to get into arguments with people about, like, pay attention to what we have here, because these artists are not going to want to stick around and be overlooked and just
Yeah,
have people paying attention to international artists. We had such a great community here.
yeah,
So you were always going to be destined for the global sort of market. But it's just been
yeah,
great to see how it's happened and to see
yeah.
it grow organically and to hear you say that. I believe that you will step out on stages and people are going to mouth the words to your songs over there as well.
I'm excited for that moment.
Man, that'll be such a trip. Like, do you get nervous though when you step out on stage? Like, do you have like any kind of nerves, or is it just you're such a natural at it? It's just what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I do get nervous. It's kind of like it's a self thing, like
Mm,
it's I don't know. Sometimes I'll set expectations that people don't even expect of me,
yeah,
and I think if I set those expectations in my head, then it brings on the nerves.
yeah,
But it's really like it's it's a personal thing, man.
yeah.
It's got nothing to do with other people. It's really just something that we put those expectations on
Yeah.
ourselves when people are not even
I feel you.
expecting that.
I,
And yeah, so I think just realizing that helps me calm the nerves. I think this whole time of lockdown has just really helped me to kind of reflect
mm,
on that and really, I don't know. I think my approach is going to be different coming back out of lockdown, just to performing live and hitting stages.
yeah,
I think my whole approach to it will be a little bit different.
yeah,
It might
yeah.
be a little bit smoother. A little bit slower,
Can
a
it
little bit.
get any smoother for the love of God? Like seriously, it's already like coffee with the right amount of cream. It got caramel dressing if you need it. Like seriously, don't. Let's just. I don't even want to deal with that. So we'll cross that smooth bridge when we get to it.
It
I
was
think.
coffee in the afternoon. Now it's gonna be coffee in the morning. I think.
Okay, that's okay. Double shot. That's all good.
Double
Um,
shot.
I think what makes it really kind of unique too with your performances is there's a real great infusion of family that
Definitely.
you always um, involve with your shows, whether it be your amazing children, Roman and obviously Micah, who are not stage shy at all, have got amazing rhythmic bones in their bodies and just add such an incredible layer and essence to your performance, the pride of them being up there with their dad and doing what they do with their own incredible talents. And then your amazing sister, who is, carving out such an incredible career as a songstress here in
Yeah.
Australia. And then of course your beautiful wife who does what she does impeccably. Shout out to Tiana for always being the the be all and end all to a lot of your productions. So it's a real
Yeah.
family affair with what you
Yeah.
guys do. So I can imagine the nerves as the performer would be there, but then you've got the great cushions of having that support. It's just a beautiful thing to see when
Definitely.
you guys are always together and doing a thing. How does it
It is,
feel
man.
for you?
We're definitely blessed, we always talk about how, I think God put us together as a family for a reason. To have all this,
Yeah,
there's a reason why we're together. So like if we don't work towards, fulfilling that reason or utilizing that, then that's a God-given talent that's
yeah,
wasted, or that's a God-given gift that's wasted, I should say. Because it's honestly to be an entertainer and then have the support of a family of entertainers. That's really everything, because I know a lot of artists that don't have that, and to be in the industry like ours and feel like you're isolated and doing it on your own can be a really, it can be a lot to take on,
yeah,
because it's a part of you, but people don't understand it. And so I mean, being in the entertainment world, that traditional view society and being an entertainer, it's still as much as you can try and say it's not there, it's still there. That's that stigma of being a full-time performer. Like, how are you going to do that? How how are you going to support your family? That stigma, it's still there. It stays around. So I mean, being someone that doesn't have the support, I can't imagine how hard it would be. So having a family of entertainers and us being in entertainment and being able to push each other and have each other's back and help each other through getting out our ideas, it's definitely a blessing. Definitely.
No,
Definitely
100%.
something I'm thankful for.
You can see it in everything that you guys do, and again, I keep going back to just the content that you put out on social media, obviously with your Instagram, with your Facebook pages, with everything that you do. Like, obviously there's a real strategy, and I'm learning this now about how people post things online, especially as a creative, as an artist. And knowing when to do it, how to do it. There's always got to be a positive intention, I think, when you are building a brand, when you're creating that kind of vibe around you. What do you enjoy about the process? Because your content is dope, man. Like, whether it's with your clothing sponsorships, or with just your new music, or just like amazing images. What inspires you to put out the content that you put out? Like, do you have a wall planner that says, well, today I'm going to be dope down the alleyway?
I should, but
tomorrow
I don't.
I'm going to ride a bike and look like even more cooler. Like, how do you do that? What's your strategy? Help me.
I really have no strategy, to be honest. Like, I just want to be honest. That's it. It's just honesty. I want to share honesty and my truth, and if people can vibe with it, then that's cool, man. I get a lot of not compliments. I get a lot of people like trying to guess my age and like, oh man, like, I can't believe you have kids and you have a family, you don't look like it, whatever. It's like, I'd like to inspire, guys that, want to feel youthful, to just be youthful. Like, dads, I'm a dad, but I'm youthful, and I put it down, when I need to as a parent. But I think just that young boy mentality, and I call myself the young boy because that young boy mentality is something that I've never lost, and it's something that I feel is a part of me, and something that I never want to lose. So yeah, I think just that's my truth, like that's me. I'm like that. I can have an adult conversation and still have that young at heart.
You can have adult conversation, still sit at the kids' table with the kids and be cool.
Most definitely.
Dopest dad in the room, like.
Most definitely, and I learn. I love to learn from children and learn from them, and just see how they're seeing the world, or try to understand how they're seeing the world, and like that sometimes can affect my own view, and
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
no, I love that. That it is perfectly captured by you. I know the young boy, old soul is you to the T. You've always had that youthful effervescence, that exuberance, and everything that whenever you release something, there's always this excitement and anticipation by your fans and the people that have been your biggest supporters. It's just, I don't see you sitting there with a social media wall planner. Maybe that's just my OCD. Maybe because I have that on my wall, but then I'm also trying to manage, when's the next book release? So then I've got to do this production, and I'm studying, and what do I? So
I'm a terrible planner. You man, you need to teach me a thing or two, because I'm terrible at planning.
I was hoping to
I got too many ideas, and like You know, I,
I
if
hear
I
you.
if I put them on a planet, I'm gonna be fighting it. Which one's supposed to go first? Yeah,
Okay, so now scrap that, Max, because I had visions of you being like real articulate with it, and you and T were arguing. No, I think this image needs to go, and this,
nah,
but clearly the war plan is in the head, so
it's
that's
all in
okay.
the head.
Yeah, and then there's just being cool, and that's just you born with that. So scrap that, Maxine. Keep it
Yeah.
moving and just enjoy what you post. Like seriously, it's dope. I love
It's
it.
man, the whole social media thing. Like honestly, it's I
Yeah,
wish we could go back to where people would
simpler
go to the
times.
store and buy, listen to an album in the store and decide
Seriously,
whether they want to buy it. Not be forced to listen to it or like
absolutely.
get it thrown in your face because it's
Yeah,
Google is making you see it. I just prefer those times. I've really just been trying to go through this time and figure out how I can bring some of that back, like
yeah,
some of that nostalgia, just
yeah,
bring it into this real life. I know we got to move forward with the technology and all.
yeah.
I understand that, but we still need a bit of that. That nostalgia is just,
Yeah, I
that's
agree with you. I think the world is definitely moving a lot faster than I think a lot of us wanted to. And even
Mhm.
coming out of COVID, like, I tell my husband every night when we talk, even with just like watching our kids adapt to this new
Mhm.
normal and
Mhm.
homeschooling and missing out on so many things we took for granted as kids,
Yeah.
and it's we can never replicate that, but
Absolutely.
it's also looking at how resilient these kids are, and just hoping that there's some kind of uh, exciting sort of newness that happens when we emerge out of this. Is the hope, right? We've always hoped
Most
for it.
definitely.
But it's a challenging time for parents right now. This
It
is
is.
challenging for us, right? As creatives, as cool parents as we are, I find
Mhm.
myself sounding like my grandmother a lot of the time when I'm chastising the kids. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, how did I get to 80? Like,
Yeah.
but I think it's that nostalgia. I think
Yeah.
I look at how we were raised, and I look
Yeah.
at our families and what we come from, and you kind of go, man, you try to instill that in the kids, but
Definitely.
social media technology, it really feels like it takes over sometimes. How do you guys manage that in your home with your kids? Because your kids are really talented and they're at the forefront of all of that. So how do
Yeah.
you keep that old school vibe a little bit?
I think it's really just, like just having moments of conversations and just really giving them moments where they can feel something,
Yeah,
feel something real because like feeling something real and like feeling a way about something is very different, and,
yeah,
and when you get that feeling inside you that wow, sparked some creativity,
yeah,
those are the moments where we, if we can see that our children are a bit of creativity is sparked inside them, we try and like, okay, let's play on that,
yeah,
let's try and bring
absolutely.
that feeling more to the forefront more often,
Yeah,
whether it's with Rom, like putting or choreographing his own piece, or like just working on some dancing, and same with Micah with the dancing as well. But she's definitely an old soul as well. She's very artistic, and
yeah.
she loves art. She's some of the things I see her do, I'm like, wow, it's crazy what you could do at 8 years old.
I'm telling you, man.
I
They
think just really that
yeah,
keeping them creative is really, it gives them a bit of nostalgia because it gives them something they can feel that's real,
absolutely,
and then
absolutely.
I think that's the most important thing is
That's
remaining
good.
creative. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you've got Lexus,
Yeah.
your eldest as well, and she's,
Yeah.
blazing her own path with, fashion design and all these incredible.
Yeah.
So you really are blessed with such an incredibly beautiful, talented family. Not foregoing the fact that obviously within the DNA is the strong South African upbringing,
Yeah.
and making sure that love of family is always prevalent.
Hmm.
Um, going back to the global kind of question of, with your music obviously taking over globally, how has it been for you with your music, and then obviously, back to South Africa, back home? You're from Durban, or your
Yeah.
family is from Durban originally.
Yeah.
What's the connection with like Champion Durban, your music? Is there a community there of listeners, followers with your stuff?
I definitely think there's a following there. I get a lot of DJs. Big up
Yeah,
to Carl Ali. Like Carl Ali is my
absolutely.
cousin, DJ Carl Ali, and like, man, he's always hitting me up like, bro, people are requesting your songs when I DJ. And he DJs on Radio of Color, which is it's predominantly a South African audience based in South Africa,
Yeah,
and so I definitely feel like there's the audience there. I do have the hope that I can go over there and do some shows and try and tap into that as well.
yeah,
Because my connection to South Africa, I mean, being South Africa, even raised in Australia, being South African, even raised in Australia it's a strong culture. It's something you never, you know what I mean? Like, we can go through generations of being in Australia and you'll never shake the South African
never.
traditions. You'll never shake that out of us, So we
Yeah,
hold on to it with pride. I'm very proud to be, South African. So yeah, to be over there and be performing,
yeah,
definitely something that
that's what's up.
I'm going to do.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that would be so amazing. That would be such an incredible sort of, creative homecoming. But I guess looking at the world, and then obviously looking at how different countries are sort of ravaged by what's happening at the moment,
Yeah.
it makes that exciting kind of reining in of the wanderlust. It makes it that much more challenging, because there's so many
Yeah.
different areas that we would love to go to and we can't, or they're not ready to reopen and re-enter the world, or
Yeah.
it's a lot worse there than it would be here, and it just for artists and for music, it's just really such a challenging time.
It
It
is.
really is.
It's definitely a challenge. I think not being able to go overseas at the moment, it's like, man, Australia, all you can do is focus on your local act. So why not, It's a good opportunity for us to, come to the forefront of Australian music and really just hopefully the powers that be, but even not the powers that be, us as artists, it's really a great time for us to take control of our own industry. It's really a great time for us to create our own events, create our own platforms, and really just take control and deliver the quality that is here, like, to the Australian people. So
Mm,
it's there's a lot of opportunity
there is,
in this
absolutely.
in this time.
Absolutely. Speaking of opportunity, obviously you are always working on new music, new sound.
Yeah.
I, thinking back this year alone, just on some of the incredible releases that you've made musically, you've just, you always set the bar, always, with every piece of music that you create. I was really, really blessed and honored to have been a part of your Black or Magic project, and the actual the visual, sort of video. And that song is just so special. Always paying homage to the beauty and the power of Black women, and the incredible Black
Mhm.
women that you align yourself with. When it comes to creating your music, I mean, obviously the inspiration is your life and the people around you, and what affects you most. But being an artist of color in this country, and
Mhm.
also contributing to the culture, how important is it for you to always create music that is, I won't say controversial, but I will say socially conscious? Because you do tackle those topics of Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter, or like the COVID lockdown stuff. You did a little sort of visual imagery on that, and then obviously
Yeah.
Black Door Magic. How important is it for you to always hit that mark as an artist?
It's important for me to just deliver some truth and honesty, and I guess, like I was saying, through my writing, sometimes I can't articulate it in words, but the gift I've been given, to write music, I much prefer to articulate it through the music anyway. And it's very important for me, I guess, just to really speak on the times. I guess as an artist, that's what I feel is my duty, is to like speak on the times, speak on what's going on, speak on what you see, so that you can spark conversation, so that what you're saying sparks conversation in order to, move towards some kind of resolution or some kind of just a conversation, just a start in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So I just really stay so like conscious of what I'm writing and what I'm saying in my writing, in order to really just definitely deliver something that's socially conscious, and opens up, I guess, a right to open the mind rather than to close it.
Yeah. You don't write lollipop music. I mean, look, that's great, and there's a market for all of that. But it's everything that you've put out. There's always been a message. There's been like the fun kind of club hype vibe, But even with that, it's just there's always an integrity, and there's always a really positive message. And even when it's something challenging, I get what you say about you are the vessel for, your God-given talent, and that is to speak on what is important and to deliver.
I like to write as a rapper, to be honest. I wish I was a rapper.
Really? Maybe you could ghostwrite. Maybe ghostwrite could write.
I know when I started music, like 8 years old, I started rapping, and I was mentored by a rapper. And so I think now, like, that still influences me to this day, because when I write, I like to write R&B, almost, well, not always, but sometimes, just from a hip hop state of mind. I feel like hip hop is it's such a, not controversial, but it holds its place in like saying the message, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Getting the message across. When you need to deliver a message, if you deliver it with a hip hop song,
Gotcha.
it hits a bit harder, you feel it a bit more, it affects more people. It's just, so that hip hop state of mind, like I definitely approach my writing, even though I'm R&B artist and soul artist, and I don't like to just categorize myself as that, but if that's what I'm gonna be seen at, I'm gonna come at it with a hip hop state of mind and mentality when I write. So
I feel you.
Yeah, and it works for me.
Evidently, it does. If it ain't broke,
it challenges me. It challenges me to think bigger than R&B.
Yeah.
It challenges me. Yeah,
I feel you. Well, that's a great segue then. And you're always like, always obviously listening out for, the newest artist, being inspired by so many different sounds. And yes, you work with your favorite sort of producers here, and you've got your sound, that you've been able to really cultivate over the years. But in terms of, who inspires you musically, are there any sort of favorite artists you're feeling at the moment, people that you're watching out on? Can you give us some insight into that?
Definitely, Childish Gambino is one for me.
Okay.
Like at the moment, I love Childish.
Yeah.
I just love he's very eclectic, and he does everything.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. I love the fact that he
Yeah.
does it all. You know,
Absolutely.
and I can relate. I can definitely relate to that. I think that's why. And then also with his music,
Yeah.
I think it speaks a lot to me because he can do the love thing and he can do the political, or he can, you
Yes.
know, he
Yeah.
can go through it. Or he definitely approaches music with that hip hop kind of like mentality as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, he's a
You know,
great
so
artist.
I think yeah, he definitely talks to me. Also, Lucky Day, you know, he's gradually rising now, and I think that style of R&B, yeah, it reminds me of the Music Soul Child and the Maxwell
Yeah.
vibe, and you know that for a new artist to be doing that and getting that commercial kind of credibility,
Yes.
it's promising, man. Like it you know that it really it shows where commercial music is kind of going
Yeah.
and where it can go.
Yeah.
You know, that we don't have to stick to it being like pop music. Like we can talk about love and we can talk about black love and we can talk about deep thoughts and deep relationships in commercial music
Mm.
and push it there. So that's kind of he Lucky Day is definitely inspiring me at the moment. Um, yeah, there's so many. I
Anderson
mean,
Paak,
Anderson Paak's amazing.
isn't
Yeah,
he
amazing,
amazing? And his
amazing.
rise too. Like I know he's been around for a minute, but I sometimes find these artists like they just come out of nowhere. And
Yeah,
it's just how they promote it, I guess, or how they come out. But he's got such a old world sound to his voice, and even
yeah,
the way like his music's produced, it's just got that. It will never date his
yeah.
stuff, you know.
Most definitely. And you know, like we're probably around the same age, so it's just
Yeah,
that having that nostalgia, that understanding of that old school mentality, and bring it into into this new world
yeah,
is it's you know gives people some hope.
absolutely,
You know, yeah.
absolutely. So I guess to finish off, then, because we could talk for hours. Can you share with us anything you're working on? Will you be releasing soon? Like, what's the next 12 months looking like for Mike Champion?
I got a new single, just sent it off for mastering last week, so it's mastered now. I got the master back, final master. It's ready to go. So
Yay.
it'll be coming out, you know, within a month,
Okay.
and it's called "I Got You," and I mean, it's a song that I wrote a while ago, like I mean, a few years ago, but it's just always been on my mind, and I feel like right now is the right time to share it. So
Mm.
that'll be coming out within the month, and then I'm working on another project. I started working with some producers that I started my career with,
What?
you know. So I don't want to reveal who it is, but
That's so dope because you've worked with a number of people, obviously, just to
yeah,
get, your sound not right, but you're obviously experimental, and a lot of artists are because it's how you feel
yeah.
and it's how you're growing. But that's awesome. So you really are kind of taking it back to the old school, if we can say that.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna be, even though we're moving forward and we're moving ahead and you know, the sound is evolving. I'm just not gonna be scared to, you
Yeah.
know, do what I love. You know, and I don't feel the need to, I mean, just to go with it. I'd rather just go against the
You've
grain,
always been like that, though.
go with
You've
my gut
always
feeling.
been like that.
So.
You just row your own boat. Do you always land on your feet, and you've always elevating the game, brother. And I think that's what's so. It's just such a blessing to be a part of it. First off, and to just watch you continue to just rise and shine. I know that sounds kind of cringy, but you always are rising, and there's always a shine with it. So just keep doing you, man. Like it's just yeah, you've got the formula, and you know what it's about. So we'll just continue watching from the wings. Just don't
You too,
forget though,
sis.
when you get the award, just don't forget. Okay, if BET is gonna call and all this, something's gonna happen, and we're gonna see you and Tiana
I'm
on the
waiting for
red.
them. I'm waiting for BET to call me. Come on, come on. I'm
That's
waiting. I'm
gonna
waiting.
happen. And then if they go, so is there any early writings? Yes, Maxine actually did write some of my first articles. I just remember, just honorable
No,
mention.
I got you. I got you. You know,
I
I
know you
got you.
do. I know you do. I'm very proud of you. Any last sort of bit of advice to obviously, any independent artists that are going to be watching this? What advice do you give them, especially with the current state of music at the moment, post COVID? Yes.
I really just I mean, I read a quote last week that kind of got me, and I can't remember it fully, but it was just something about like um, it's like your eyesight. So what we're seeing in the world right now, you know, we, you might look at that as that's all you can see, but your eyesight cannot see what your mind sight can see. So I just right now really is the time to just go within,
Yeah.
like for artists especially, close your eyes and really just everything that you see in your mind for yourself is so achievable, and it's something that we really can bring to the forefront. And I I can be testament to that because there's things that I've thought about that have come true
Yeah.
for me, without me even pushing my energy towards those things. So I really, for people that are in the arts world, especially, or I guess for anyone that's
Mm,
a dreamer, just keep on dreaming, man. Close your eyes,
mm,
really, really, that mindset can be reality, and though it seems like it's such a challenge right now, there's no challenge too great for,
too great.
that passion, there's no challenge too great for that innate feeling, and
Yeah.
bring it, that God-given talent. There's no challenge big enough for that because we're destined, we're destined. So let's go.
Oh man, that's
Let's
amazing. Like,
come out swinging, like
you know, they got to. Honestly, they got to. They got nothing else. Coming out swinging. Look at me. Hang on. Excuse me.
all right.
Um, Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing and for always being so transparent as well, because it's necessary, And there's so many artists out there that are, I don't want to say struggling, but I think there's, people are talking about a roadmap out for all of us and returning back to life as normal. There's going to be a new normal, and there probably should
Definitely.
be, I guess, because there's a rebirthing that I
Yeah,
believe is going to happen. But I think always maintaining, um, holding on to your dreams, never letting them, never letting anybody take them away, and just
definitely.
yeah, just
I think
pushing forward.
it's the most definitely, Max, and it's the honesty. Like I feel like people are, man, like we've been through 2 years almost of we're not knowing what's the truth. So
Seriously,
people like really are longing for the truth. So I think being an artist and being in this industry, let's just be honest, man. Like let's not be
seriously.
scared to live our truth, and share our truth and deliver that to the world. And I feel like the truth is always going to prevail.
It
So
has to. It
yeah.
has to. Well, thank you for your truth and thank you for your time and just your conversation and your incredible music. And I'm just so excited to see what you continue to achieve and build on and just elevate the game. It's just such a pleasure to know you and to call you family, truly.
It's all love, sis. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for this new platform
Thank you.
and where you're gonna take it to, and I'm excited to be in your corner with that as well. So
Thanks, Mike.
you know what it is? It's love.
Always, always. Stay safe, be blessed, and looking forward to the new single too. Can't wait.
Yes,
Peace out.
Peace.
Inspiration is a strange thing. She gave it to me. That's what I mean. A feeling in my body. And I said, to be young, gifted, and black. That's it. And sat down at the piano at that moment and made up a tune. And it just flowed.
We could do more if I say less. Girl, come by, try my tenderness. And baby, don't you fret, you don't have to stress. If I got you in my life, I'm so blessed. You can trust in me and my process. I know you wanna feel progress. Get a little higher, me too. And we don't have to get undressed. There's more than desire. Calling you, girl, come through. All my loving was made for you. Ooh, you make me wanna be a stand-up kind.
Yo, I just wanna give respect to you. There's not a day you don't cross my mind. I think about you all the time. Protect your life just like it was mine. A love better than yours is hard to find. Came along, you were right on time. Came along and changed my life. I don't know a better way to define you. Girl, sing the next line one time.
It's better than this melanin you see. It's better than this melanin you see. My melanin, there's nothing better than me. My melanin, there's nothing better than we. Look at the way she moves my body. I love the way you move your body, baby. It's better than this melanin you see.
Come set my BLKMGC free.
You know I gotta have it. It's one time for your black girl magic, yeah. You give me good habits. Everything about you is not so average. I wanna live lavish. We could fly around the globe, black people in Paris. Girl, I'm never embarrassed to show you my affection. They gon' get jealous. Every time that I look in your eyes, I see destiny calling me to do you right. Girl, I'd rather just stand here and fight for the things you believe and the things that you like. See, under the surface, it's about heart and mind. I'm finding my purpose. I give it to you, you're worth it.
Yo, I just wanna give respect to you. There's not a day you don't cross my mind. I think about you all the time. Protect your life just like it was mine. A love better than yours is hard to find. Came along, you were right on time. Came along and changed my life. I don't know a better way to define you. Girl, sing the next line one time.
It's better than this melanin you see. It's better than this melanin, baby, let me see. My melanin, there's nothing better than me. My melanin, there's nothing better than we. Look at the way she moves my body. I love the way you move your body, baby. It's better than this melanin you see.
Come set my BLKMGC
And you set me free, and you know that I be addicted to the way that you move your body. I just wanna be your man. For you I take stand just as soon as I can. Wanna fly you to Japan, get to working on your list, ma. Hope you're feeling on this side. Just tryna cop a bit of kiss, understand you better, my go-getter. Just call on T'Challa, Wakanda, forever with you. Girl, I got a lot of love for your crew. It's no shy when I come get the Zulu. It's a must that I might walk in your trust, and much more than lust. When it comes to us, I'll go before you, I'll go. But you need to lead, okay, I follow. I got you, you know, come knock at my door. Let me take control. Wind up on the floor, young boy, say, whoa, whoa. I feel you in my soul. Oh, think about you when I flow. Oh, just let your melanin grow. If you ready to roll, I'm ready to go. Stand up for the whole neighborhood, and we'll find strength with our neck on the wood. And take from the bad, give to the good. It's better than black girl magic, understood.
Being with her many times kept coming, flooding back in my memory.
Young boy.